Hello, and welcome to another episode of The One Ring. I'm your wonderful host, and
Oh,
lore
starting off
master.
great.
Right? Yeah, there we go. See, I tried to prep everything and it just didn't go well. No, I'm your wonderful host and lore master, James, and I have our wonderful group of players this week, and we're going to find out some of them were not who they were last week. So we're going to find out who they're actually playing for the next few months. But before we do that, of course, we're going to go over some announcements. First off, being if you're new to the channel, make sure that you give us a quick follow. It costs nothing. Hop over to our YouTube channel, give us a subscribe. It just helps with the algorithm and helps us get boosted that way. We are going to be giving away a gift tonight, and right now I'm going to pass that over to Phil so he can show you exactly what that is.
Phil, we can't hear you.
Oh, it would help if I unmuted.
We're very professional here at Tabletop
We
Experts.
are super professional. Tonight we are going to give away a copy of the One Ring starter set. This is an amazing starter set. It'll get you diving into the One Ring adventure from Lord of the Rings really quickly, thanks to our friends over at Free League. This starter set comes with a 24-page condensed version of the rules to get you up and running. It also has a 52-page compendium covering the 4 farthings of the Shire, all the way from Greenholm in the west to Buckland and the Old Forest in the east. There's also a 32-page volume containing 5 exciting adventures to play, including the one that we did last week, if you were there for that. We also have 8 double-sided pre-generated character sheets. So a lot of the ones that we were playing, like Lobelia and Paladin Took and all that kind of stuff, they're in here as well. You also get a huge full-color double-sided map of both the Shire and Eriador. 30 war gear cards for weapons and armor that you can equip for your adventures. 6 double-sided journey roll and combat stance cards, which kind of look like this. I got some of these nice and handy nearby. What else we got here? We got 2 D12 feat dice and 6 D6 success dice. Yes, they look like that. So all that comes in here and to get you up and running for your adventures in Middle-earth.
Awesome. Thanks, Phil, for giving us that update, because that is an incredible gift, strictly backed by the wonderful people over there at Free League Gaming. Next, we are going to have our evening sponsor, and that's going to pass us over to the wonderful man in locks, Allan.
Hooray! So, speaking of our friends that we have out there, we also made a new friend called Valorhood. Now, Valorhood, if you don't know anything about beard grooming, and there's a lot of products out there that's pretty garbage, Valorhood is actually not. It's fantastic. I've gotten 2 of their sample packs. One is the beard oil that we have right here, and the other is beard butter. Now, they have 5 different scents. One being an artificer, another being the draconic sorcerer, another being the rogue sleuth. There's one that is the, take it down the page, and
Tavern
it is
something?
Songweaver, and the last one is the Tavern Brute. Now, do not miss out on their seasonal one, which is the Grave Waker. That is amazing. That one smells phenomenal. If you have not smelled it yet, get your hands on it. Thankfully, you can get your hands on it with a 10% off code, which you can apply at the checkout called Misfits. That is MISFITS. Misfits. Don't miss out. And shout outs to our friends at Valorhood.
Awesome. So, yep, go check them out. They're a great company. Everything is natural. They use aluminum, so it's actually able to be recycled. All natural products, and they're fantastic.
And they're made here in the U.S. too.
They are here in the U.S. Not to mention, their sample kits are extremely affordable, and they last for quite a while. So you get all the chances to try it quite a few times before you actually are ready to pick out the full slew of things. Okay, do we have any? Oh, finally, and not to forget this, all of our sounds are done through Sirenscape, and our new intro, the music is done by our friend over at Arcane Anthem. So you can go check him out. He does free sounds for D&D and TTRPG community. And of course, I'm not going to give another shout out, but I am, is our wonderful artist, Breena, who does all of our artwork, which you'll be able to see off and on tonight. So if we are done with announcements, let's get into our story, shall we?
You need
All
checking
right.
this delete.
It is the spring of year 2960 in the Third Age. The first sight of spring and the blooming of the flowers gave new vitality to the hobbits of the Shire. After a short adventure to gather a strange but very old map, Bilbo had found the spark he was looking for. Ferdinand and Orangeblossom took a couple weeks after that day to gather any necessities and belongings that they would need in order for a journey that Bilbo had asked them to go on. The rumors started to spread quickly, with no thanks to the wonderful Lobelia and her insightful eye for the strange.
Disrespect.
After a light mist of rain the day before that came from the west had passed and the grass was green, the two set off, heading east towards their adventure. In the meantime, sitting in the comfortable Baggend, Master Baggins toiled through an ancient text that he requested to borrow from the museum, and though a bit concerned, the retrieval was not discovered yet. Sitting in his study, a pile of books rest on a solid oak desk, where he originally was writing a book, but for the moment became a research area for the Old Took's map. The other rooms were quiet. After the others had left, the silence fell once more on Bag End. Mind some whispers from folks about Mad Baggins and what he's up to again. So as you finish your gatherings, you head off east through the Shire. Before we start, please reintroduce Ferdinand and Orangeblossom. Ferdinand, what would you be gathering, and give a little bit of introduction of yourself, please?
Yes. Well, I have a few things that I've gathered from my previous adventures. One of those being my trusty bow and my short sword, which I have already acquired from Bag End, but also I have a few bits and bobs around the house, a little bit of elven balm that I was taught how to utilize and manufacture to aid in the healing processes that I sometimes employ to make my living, as well as my wonderful pony, Bob.
Right. And while you were gathering your things, your niece, Orangeblossom, was gathering hers. What did you gather for this trip?
Orangeblossom spends some time saying goodbye to the large family that they have, and outfits her pony Peony with a change of clothes and as much food as she can fit in the saddlebags. And she has a short sword that was given to her by Ferdinand, actually, when they were in Bag End last session, that she has strapped onto her belts. She takes her father's lantern, which hopefully he won't mind too much, but it has a windshield on it, and she thinks it might come in handy. And of course, a pouch of Old Toby and her pipe. And then she makes her way to find Uncle Ferdinand.
I forgot, James, I also packed a rather fine tea set, which I always carry. It's very brass, so it's a little more durable, but it is finely made, and it gives me great comfort on the road when things are not as hospitable as they were.
Sure, sooner or later, we're going to find out where Ferdinand got that tea set. But that's a story for another time. So as you venture off down past Hobbiton and head east, you venture into what is known as the East Farthing. And inside the East Farthing, you venture very quickly from one town to another until you arrive at the Brandywine Bridge. And for you, Ferdinand, that is just a moment of respite and memory that reminds you of the days as you ventured out the first time. But for Orangeblossom, this is the first time you would have stepped out past on an adventure. So how do you feel right now?
She's kind of looking around both excitedly and mildly nervously, and then looks over and says, Uncle Ferdinand.
Yes?
This is the farthest from home I've ever been.
That's wonderful, but now I want you to listen to me, Orangeblossom.
Yes?
Now, a lot of the things that I've told you are some old bullshit. It was just fancy hobbit stories for the young ones who will more than likely never venture past the Shire's boundaries itself. But you and I, despite your father's last name, are Tooks. We have the blood of the Tooks in us, old Bull Roarer himself. Now, I want you to remember that it is our people, our sort, the Tooks, who venture beyond the Shire. So therefore, all people know of hobbits are how we behave. And you should keep that in mind going forward, because Master Bilbo has made a rather fine reputation for hobbits, and we should do nothing to tarnish that. So just remember that in your dealings with other folks. But still do have a wonderful time, but just, it's time to be a little bit more... Also, elves aren't 8 foot tall and glowy. That was just something that I told Paladin because he's a bit of a twat. And I just wanted him to have a good time.
Well, I'll admit, I wasn't quite sure I believed that one.
No.
I think he did, though.
He did, and that's all that matters. He'll never see an elf, more than likely.
Probably not. Okay, so beyond my best behavior.
Yes. When possible.
When seen. Yes?
Yes, when seen. That is priority, of course, yes. But always do try and act honorably towards others, because it can really come back and bite you in the old tuchus if you're not watching yourself, if you know what I mean.
Right. Okay.
As you take that final step over your first step onto Brandywine Bridge, and you look out into the distance, and you can see the road lead just into the horizon. On your right, you notice the deep, dark branches and leaves of the old forest. Now, this area is an area of mystery. Many stories that you were told as a child of creatures that lived within it, another place where elves could be seen. But also, you have heard of something known as the Burnt Beast. It's kind of a wives' tale, or rather, a tale to keep children from running away too much, or doing something that they're not supposed to. The Burnt Beast is a tale that you were told since very young hobbit of making sure to keep you in line. About a creature, black as night, with red beating eyes, that comes out and takes children when they wander too far into the forest. Some of you might have heard it as the boogeyman or a roaming of goblins. But specifically in Buckland, this is a story that some will say they've seen. There's been missing children, missing teens, and some of the bounders will even state, walking down the road, that they see beady red eyes gleam back at them from deep within the forest.
Well, we must be very careful to avoid the forest unless we absolutely have to go there. There is a lot of rumor of some sort of fairy tale nonsense, and I'm sure that it's not real, but you never know. It's usually these sorts of things are based on real occurrences, things that are actually happening. For instance, it could just be a bloody great wolf who lives in those forests, who's taken a taste for hobbit flesh, or man flesh, as now we are nearing Bree. But yes, it's just something that keep your eyes peeled, and we will be just fine, I'm sure.
If there is a bloody great wolf, what do we do?
I will shoot it with a bow very fast, and you must try and run away. Don't let it get you. That's the main thing. Maybe climb a tree. I'm not sure. Are you good at climbing trees? Is that something that young folks of your age do still?
Sometimes, occasionally. It's been a while.
Yes. Well, I can't keep track of the games that you youngsters play now with your ball and stick. I remember when we were children, we didn't have money for ball and stick. We either had ball or stick. But things have changed, and that's for the better.
Bull invented golf. I was sure you played as well.
Oh no, I haven't the patience for golf, you see.
Oh.
Too many things to be done.
You are on the road quite a bit.
Yes, I have been in the past, it's true, and other races don't seem to enjoy golf as much as hobbits do, so it's never served me very well to play it much, you see.
And about
we'll have to teach you.
that time, as you're walking down the path, you see a group of 3 hobbits sitting on the side of the road with what looks like a picnic blanket out, 3 sets of small tea sets or tea cups set out, some crumpets and a couple other some cheese, and they're sitting there having their afternoon tea.
Hello
2 o'clock
there.
already.
It is. It's nearly time for tea ourselves, I suppose. Hello there. Do you mind having a bit of company?
The youngest of them looks up. Oh, hello. Yes,
Hello.
no, of course. Come sit. Sit.
Sure. Thank you. Yes, I'll get down off of the horse and tie him up, and then head over to where they are.
3 sitting around, and it's 2 younger hobbits, and then an older gentleman who's sitting there kind of just, he's the one that has the tea set in front of him, and he's pouring tea for everyone. And he looks up and he notices you, goes, "Oh, Ferdinand. It's good to see you back."
Hello there, Archibald. Any word? How is the road? Any news?
The road is, for the most part, the Bounders have kept whatever shenanigans are going on the road clean. We just got back from Bree only a few days ago. It's been a bit of a journey, but there is rumor. Seems there's stray dogs or wolves in the area, so do keep your eyes open. But the Bounders have been loaded with a little bit more of a heft to their club, and have been dealing with the road, at least up towards Bree. But they only go about halfway, of course, until before they realize that they're too far from home and scurry back home.
Yes, well, to be sure. Archibald, this is my niece, Orangeblossom. It's her first time out of the shire proper. Orangeblossom, this is an old acquaintance of mine, Archibald. He owns rather a large grain mill nearby.
Hello, Archibald.
Nice to meet you, milady. It seems that you two are heading towards Bree, or just going out for a morning or evening stroll.
Yes, I'm just taking her into town, and I'm going to let her see Bree and venture around, and then we will probably head back home. Merely just an outing to show the young one what the world has to offer, the wide world. Is that right, Orangeblossom?
Yes, I'm very curious.
Coming from you, Ferdinand, the wide world is much larger. The things you've said at the ends have been quite different than the average, everyday hobbit of the Shire.
Oh, well, all in search of greater knowledge, I'm sure, but young Orangeblossom, she must take small steps at first, you see. No one goes to Mount Doom their first adventure, you know what I'm saying? It's much too far for any hobbit to just walk to.
Other than, of course, the Mad Baggins himself, who's been everywhere, it seems.
I think he went to the Lonely Mountain, though, you see. No hobbit has ever gone as far as Mount Doom, and none ever will.
You're probably right.
And that's a promise.
Promise. Well, I hope you're right. Yeah, daftly thing if somebody had to go that direction.
Oh, most guys.
The other question is why? Why would they go that way?
I don't know. Some foolish errand. Who knows? Probably going there to destroy something, and they could have just flown. Bunch of fools. If only someone had told them to fly. I don't know, fly, you fools, something like that, to let them know that they should fly there.
You're probably right. If you go over the mountains, it'd be pointless to have to go all the way on foot. Not to mention all the nasty things we've heard. Most I know is, it's covered in black soot, and that is all I've heard.
Oh yes, it's a most barren land, Mordor. It's actually quite a shame. The lands, the southern lands that were there, I've heard, were quite beautiful in their time. But those days are past now, and we never have to worry about that ever again.
You hear from the young lady sitting next to him, Uncle Archie, are they? Is there really a land that's like that? Oh yes, very very much a land that's covered in black soot and barren. And one day I'll take you down to Pickle Delving, and we'll go into the museum there, and there's some information that has been written from some travelers that have arrived many years ago about the Southlands, and we let you read all about it. Oh, okay. And she stands up and pulls out 2 more cups and pours each of you some tea.
Well, thank you. Most kind of you, young lady. And what is your name?
Oh, my name is Azalea.
Azalea. What a beautiful name.
Azalea Oldbuck.
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 Okay. Well, it's a beautiful name.
Why, thank you.
What say you, Orangeblossom?
It's a beautiful flower, so a beautiful name for a beautiful girl.
Oh, thank you very much.
All right. Well, I appreciate the tea and the small snacks, but I'm afraid we must move on down the road unless there is anything else we can help you with, Master Archibald.
Oh, the only thing I was going to say is that it seems you're bringing some ponies, and I figured, if you were curious or you were on your journeys, maybe I would just offer you some grain from the mill.
Oh, yes, that would be lovely.
And he pulls out 2 small sacks and hands each one to you.
I'll take a
Go ahead.
couple of small coins out and hand them to him.
Oh, much appreciated. Not necessary, but much appreciated.
But I appreciate you, you know. And if you ever have any need of medical services, please let anyone know to send for me, and I will make my way there post haste if at all possible.
Yes, you've been some mighty help there at Buckland, quite a few different times, and I do appreciate it. And I know the others have as well. Now, I do have to ask, because rumor has gotten to my ear that Master Baggins is at it again, planning another adventure. Have you heard anything? I know you're from the Shire and Hobbiton, but...
Adventure? No. It is... I'm sure there's nothing to say of it, though. I mean, if there was an adventure afoot in Hobbiton, surely you would think that I would know about it, right?
Give me a riddle check, please.
All right. I think I'm good at riddle. Let me see. Everybody's already mad that I'm giving out money. I said small coins.
Small coin.
I am actually
exchanged for grain.
I am actually very good at riddle. Let's see. Oh, good Lord. It's a lot, James. It's 21.
What's your TN?
My wits TN is 15.
Succeeded. Any high successes?
No. They're all just I just rolled a 10 on my my feat die.
So there is a bit of still with the success, you're able to kind of wind around his suspicions. But he also knows who you are. So there is a little bit of a holding back of, well, maybe you are going on an adventure. But he doesn't ask anymore. And as we kind of come to a close on this scene, as you all are sitting around sipping some tea, we're going to pick up, kind of move ourselves to another portion of Middle-earth. This portion is known very much by many outside of the Shire, and the Shire has rumor of it. We are going to venture into the stronghold and the house of Elrond at Rivendell. It is springtime in Rivendell, and the elves are getting excited at the alert of a new year. A year of plenty, and Lord Elrond, amongst other higher houses of the stronghold, spoke of rumor of a great year, prophecy. As a tradition, a group of elves are always asked to go out early spring to gather any herbs and flowers that would have finished their cycle, as well as gathering a bit of a hunt for a spring celebration. Lord Elrond comes to one of you, the one who's been living there for many, many years now. Bill, would you like to describe your character?
Yes, I am a very grim Ranger of the North who has been living in the comfort of Rivendell since he was a child. But I spend a lot of my days outside of the stronghold of the elves, keeping a watchful eye on the people of Eriador, particularly in the area of the Etten Moors, where I am afraid that a shadow has started to grow over the mountains. So I've been keeping for a watchful eye in case the rumors of the return of the Witch King are true.
And this gives you reason to head that direction, as you are usually one of the few that will jump to at this time period to head to the west in order to gather what is known as the first feast. In the meantime, 2 strangers have arrived from far, far east. You arrived in Rivendell only a week before, can you describe your character and let people know who you're playing?
What did you say? Neither of us could hear you.
Yeah.
Alan, can you
Okay.
describe your character?
Okay, so my character is about almost 6.5 feet tall. Slender but athletic build. He's got very long black hair. His hood is always pulled up. His hair is always down around his face. Most times you can see there's a long, very intricate looking bow with elven script written down the middle of it. And he has 2 long daggers on his hips that are elven made, and in his boot you can see the handles of daggers.
All right. And you are traveling with another, correct?
I am.
All right. Can you describe yourself?
So the elf's companion is a human of the woodsman. They stand probably about 5.5 feet tall and have bright red hair. Is dressed very much like a hunter in dark leathers. Carries a long hafted axe. Has a dagger at the one side, and also is companion animal of a large dog, a large shaggy dog.
And for the moment, you two had just found, you'd only been there about a week before and enjoying the hospitality of the House of Elrond. You had met Elondir only a few nights ago, and you could see that his spry and excited nature kind of connected with the two of you. Bit different than the rest of the higher houses. But Elondir immediately comes to find you two as a way to almost initiate you to Rivendell, knowing that the celebration is starting. So you're welcome to you arrive at their door or at their room and prepare them.
Amigavanya, Melonin. Welcome again to this fine area of Rivendell. I would like to invite you to this celebration that we are having. It's perfect timing for your arrival. If you'd like to come with us, we will go and prepare for this fantastic feast that we are preparing.
Antuyan Bear Melon. Greetings to you. Nighbird, are you prepared to leave here?
I could go wandering.
All right, so I lead them on to the preparation area where the other elves are.
The elves are just at the end of the city, and there's about 12 of you all together. You're provided a group of horses as you head west towards the Ettenmoor and the Trollshaws. You know that these areas can be full of nasty creatures, but over the last few years, it has seemed to become sparse.
Be on your guard.
Whoever's being our scout, can you please give me your scan check?
All right. Since I'm kind of leading the party, I guess I will do that.
He knows where we're going.
Is it a scan check?
Yes.
Okay. That is favored.
That's helpful.
So that is... I don't know. Apparently I lost my way a little bit.
Oh no!
What'd you get, buddy?
I got 10, and my TN is 16.
Oh yes!
I rolled 2 1s.
Buddy.
Oh,
So
do you know where we're going exactly? You seem to be a bit off pace a little bit.
It's been a minute since I was here. Just give me a moment while I gather my bearings.
All right then. And I look at Nighbird like,
Nighbird looks down at the dog. Not a god.
As you guys head, it seems though that this, I wouldn't say that it takes you a super, it pulls you too much off the path. It's more so once you head to the troll shaws where you have to stop and you're looking for any sort of sight of creature.
So
immediately,
hunting?
the rest of you. Mm-hmm. Say.
Just checking. Hunting is the skill as we're.
Yes.
Or do I need awareness?
You can do either or. Hunting is mostly if you're to track the creature or a creature. So who would like to hunt?
I'll give it a go.
Okay. She vanished.
Oh, give him
Yeah, well, it's
visibility.
because I'm attempting to read the dice.
Okay,
A
you people
Gandalf
are close,
stick.
it's impressive.
A Gandalf stick
Okay. Are you on the D12 or on the D6?
on the 12.
Okay. And do you have any pips in hunting?
3 of them.
So did you roll any Gandalf runes on any of those?
Not yet. No.
Okay.
I got. Let's see. On the D6s, I rolled 3 of them. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
I have 9 on those, and whatever the Gandalf thing means on this.
9 altogether?
Plus the
Gandalf
Gandalf room. Plus the
Okay.
Gandalf stick.
So the Gandalf rune automatically is a success, but you could
We'll
have had
take
what is
that.
considered an epic success or over success that would have, if you would have gained another rune, which could have then helped Elondir on his navigation. But you're able then to find tracks of what seems to be hoof prints of a deer that's close by.
We'll
You
need an
head
action.
into the groups kind of split off. The 12 of you split off in different directions in groups of 3, and you head in deep into the troll shaws to track the deer. As you head in about 100 feet into the troll shaws, the trees right now have just started to regain color. Most of the trees, the leaves have fallen off. I'm starting to see the buds starting to appear. You dip around a tree here, you dip around a tree there. You're looking for the creature, you're following the tracks, and you find a small field within the center of this. That not but 1, but 4 are grazing.
I'm going to signal to whoever's come with me who has a bow, because my weapon would make a mess.
So I immediately pull out my bow while she says it, and
I knock an
lock
arrow as
on.
well.
Arrow too. Okay. And with that, 2 arrows fly through the air. Each of you, can you please roll me a? We'll do hunting for this one as well. Elven cloaks are impressive. It's like just throw one up and you're gone.
That is a 16.
16.
And my
Elondir?
TM is a 14.
15. My TN's 14 as well, and I got a P.
Got a
Very
rune.
nice.
Very nice. All right. So both of you let loose your arrows, and 2 of the deer fall. They collapse. The other 2 scatter across. As you head up towards the deer, you find that the deer lay on the ground. Something strange. You notice next to the deer, only about 2 to 3 feet away, footprints and have sunk into the ground a bit, about a quarter of an inch.
I immediately knock another arrow, being aware of where we're at and what could be lurking in these areas. Do I notice what kind of a footprint it is?
Let's see here. This is where you might. You've been traveling these areas for a while. There's something weird about it. It looks very similar to a goblin, but it's like it's got an additional appendage coming off of the foot, and it seems to sink deeper than a normal goblin would, which would make it heavier.
I turn over to the other 2 and I just like mouth the word orc.
And I immediately pull another arrow.
The axe is at ready. And the dog's on guard.
And does your dog have any special abilities?
It's a wolfhound, for a better term, and it can act as its own combatant.
Okay.
He
And
has
so
the
we're trying
ability to be a good boy.
And if you're being
Who said
mean, a very bad boy.
As you both knock arrows, you start to hear this thumping in the trees, almost like something's hitting the trunks of trees. And you look up and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 small creatures kind of hunched over. They have these little like leather hoods hang over them, and small wooden spears with what looks like a jagged point to them, but there's no stone or metal connected to the end. You look and you can see as they stare at you, their eyes are don't have a they're just white. There is no color to them at all.
This is not good.
I don't wait for another movement. I just shoot.
Okay. Roll me your attack.
All right, so that is I have a 9 on my feet die, which according to my keen bow, I get a piercing blow from that. And
Okay.
I also have a 1, 3, and I have a 6 for it's a success. So that is a 19 to hit altogether.
So this they have a parry of +2. So
And
that's
that will make
all they hit.
that will make that I have to hit a 16, so I hit that.
Yep. And you pierced it?
And I pierced it. Yeah, and I hit a piercing blow, so it has to do protection against a 14 for injury. And my bow does 3 damage to it.
So this is where so this is the first time we've done combat in the One Ring, so I'm trying to figure all these steps out. Just give me 1 second. We've got so just so I'm aware, so for that piercing blow, because it's the one thing I was not completely understanding. We roll the D20, the D12, and then I add what to it? The armor?
Yeah, if it has like
Protection,
armor
yeah.
that gives it protection,
Yeah.
then
So
it
it
rolls.
takes-
It rolls that
So I
against
get-
the 14.
Okay. That was a 5 altogether. So as you loose the arrow, you watch as it right through the neck, and the goblin drops, or the creature drops
Well done,
off
Fire
out
Twin.
of the tree.
Why, thank you. Who's next?
The other guy with the
Elondir?
bow.
I am going to take a shot as well. I'm going to spend a hope point.
Okay. So for our audience, can you explain what that means?
So each character has a certain number of hope points, and you can spend 1 hope point to gain an extra D6 on a roll to increase your chances of succeeding. Okay, that's much better. So I hit my TN number.
Okay.
And no piercing blows or anything.
So your TN +2 for the parry.
Oh, dang it. Okay. Nope, I miss.
So
Not a very good ranger.
right into the right into the tree where it's sitting on. The creature yells out. The 3 of them kind of almost in a harmony give off this cry, but it's almost ear piercing to the that you get to a point where you're stunned for a second as they all 3 jump out with spears towards you.
Towards all of
So-
us or just him?
All 3 of you, because you all are in the same area.
By the way, that was just a warning shot. I wanted to make sure that they were.
The 14.
Do we have to pick
Ellen-
stances too?
So yes, the problem is that they're advancing on you, so everybody would be in
Defensive.
in defensive. Well, you would all be in a close combat stance, unless somebody is going defensive and they could block somebody from being rear.
Oh, they're
I'm just in an open stance.
defensive, forward, and open are all close combat.
Correct.
Okay.
Trying to figure out how the combat works for monsters is a pain in the neck. Not gonna lie.
Just make up some old bullshit. It seems to work for Ferdinand.
Seems to work.
Roll some dice and see how they do.
That's what I did. Yeah, I got a 14 against Elondir. Do you have? Is your? It would be your.
My parry score.
Parry?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have an 18 parry score, so I immediately block it with my bow.
Okay. So yeah, you as the creature dives down on you, you grab your bow and just kind of push him to the side, and he falls to the ground, just kind of rolls and then stands up. Next one's going to go after the Nighbird. That's going to be another 14. What's your parry score?
24.
Yeah, these
She's
creatures are
gonna-
diving at you.
Well,
and
batter up. I've got an axe.
And then finally, the one is going to, after seeing the one drop from the tree, it's going to dive at Achreon. Okay, another 14.
So he just stands to the side. Today's the day you die. I have a 20 parry.
So that brings us to stances. So who's forward stanced?
I'm gonna
Okay.
go forward.
I have an axe.
Okay,
I
so
don't have a
forward,
bow.
so forward stance just allows you to roll an extra d6, but then they have to roll an extra d6 against
I also
you.
have a dog.
Okay. So are you going forward stance with both? Okay.
Very glad that we aren't in the middle of some sort of stupid combat.
It's quite a leisurely ride, to be honest, Uncle.
Yes, indeed.
So are you going to attack first? Then, because that's how the adventurer gets the first attacks.
I'm just,
Who's attacking first?
you go ahead, because
then
I need to know what to
Nighbird
roll.
is. So you're gonna roll your. So it is based off of. You're rolling with your attack score, and then that's basing off of the parry, which is a +2 on your team.
Well,
What'd you get, Nighbird?
I'm trying to find this guy on here. Axe isn't listed on this one.
You're using your combat proficiency corresponding to the weapon you're using.
Yep, there it is. So the feet, the 12, and one of the 6s, right?
Yep. And you'll get an
Two.
extra one because you're
Or
you're in
forward.
forward stance.
And an extra.
Orangeblossom, have I ever told you about the time that Gandalf shrank his hat and gave it to me?
18.
18 hits. So it's going to take your. So then, how much endurance does that take? What's the note on the axe?
You have a regular axe or a long hafted axe?
It's a long hafted axe.
It takes 6 damage.
6 automatically. Okay. All right, and then any more forward? The dog. Is the dog doing its attack too? Hold on, the Nightbird's dying.
Phil has to go still.
Let him go while I go.
Okay. Well, if he's not going forward, then
I'm forward.
okay.
Forward.
Hey, let's see here. Okay, so that is definitely, hopefully, hit 18.
18 definitely hits.
All right, and that is with my. Well, I guess I have my bow equipped right at the moment. So that's gonna be.
You're gonna hit him with
4.
so you hit him with the bow.
Yeah, he's like he's on the ground.
Close
I'm
range.
just like,
Okay.
Yeah. 4 damage.
All right.
And as a secondary action, can I
Yep.
drop my bow to take my sword?
Sure.
Right, that's me.
All right. Is the dog good? Or are we still dying over there?
That's what I get for having too much fun, I guess.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Oh my gosh. Sorry.
You're fine.
Actually, the dog helped with my attack.
Okay.
Good Lord.
All right. And then that puts us at defense, open, or rear.
I'm going way in the rear.
Okay.
The first thing I do is immediately I take a prepare shot, since I have deadly archery. That prepare shot usually takes an action to use it. You use your scan, and whatever you get from scan, if you succeed your TN, it gives you 1 die added to your archery. If you get additional successes, you get an additional die for each success you have.
Each one. Wow.
And since I have deadly archery, instead of using it as in full action, I can use it as a secondary action like Phil just did, and I can use that first.
Okay.
Orangeblossom,
18.
one thing. Oh, never mind.
18, and I have 2 successes, additional successes, so I have 2, that's 3 die added.
Okay. And totals, and then so you roll all those, and
I'm rolling like 6 die right now for some odd reason.
okay.
My total was 18 to beat my TN.
Okay.
All right, so I have.
So as you focus in on your shot, you pull the string back, prepare to fire.
A lot of book rules there,
20.
Orangeblossom.
I have a 20, and I rolled an Eye of Sauron, which counts as a 0 in this. So thankfully, I rolled a 20 on this 5 die that I had.
I want you to roll me a wits, please.
A wits.
Yep.
Like a When am I
It's
rolling
gonna
for
be
wits?
your. Let me pull. It's gonna be your resolve. So it's gonna be. Wisdom score. You have that?
All right, what do you want me to roll against this? Like, just a feet die? Am I adding
Yeah, it's just
anything
gonna
to
be
it?
your feet die.
Just my feet die against my wits TN.
Yep.
That's not good. Oh, Gandalf.
Okay, yeah. For some reason, as you fire, you release the arrow and it sticks into the creature, you immediately get a vision of just darkness for a moment as your eyes kind of just go blank for a second.
I didn't want to see that shadow.
No.
There are more forces at work
You
out
hear the
here than we
gurgling.
knew.
You hear the gurgling coming from the creature laying on the ground, and it falls over dead.
That's my
turn. It's your turn. The last 2 creatures are going to attack. So a 19 against you, Elondir.
Ooh. Yes, so the protection thing, it says I have a 1D. Do I add that to my parry score?
That's
Yes.
if you get hit with a
That's if you get hit with a
piercing blow.
piercing blow, yeah.
Okay.
This is not a piercing blow. This is just a hit against your endurance.
So what was your roll?
It's a 19.
That hits.
Okay, and then you're just gonna take 3 points of endurance.
Okay.
So you have to let me know when your endurance level lowers below your load. So, all right, and then the other one is going to go after the Nighbird.
I can do this all day.
23.
Harry is 24.
Oh, even as the creature dives at you, you watch as this thing just knock it away with the handle of your axe. All right, and then we're back to the next round. So it's going to be Nighbird first. Harry's +2.
Tell me,
What that
Orangeblossom,
is.
have you ever smoked a gummy bear? Put it in the old pipe there.
I can't say that I have. What's that taste like? Sounds suspicious.
Tastes like gummy bears, but burnt.
Not helping.
Sorry.
What did you get?
Who is that? Oh, 0. I failed horribly this time. It's a 5. The Eye of Sauron.
Oh no.
So I need
And the other one's a
to.
5.
Yep. So I need you to roll a wisdom, wisdom as well. So it's just going to be your feet die.
Oh, that's not good.
Ew.
Mm-mm.
Oh, Gandalf.
Thank
You as well as you kind of knock the creature away. You get ready to raise the axe, and as you're getting ready to, your eyes flash dark for a moment. You're looking around, and it's just as you swing and you slam the axe down right next to the creature as it dives out of the way. Elondir?
All right. I'm gonna try to stab it with my longsword.
Okay.
That dice is cocked. That's worse. Okay. What's the TN number?
It's +2.
Oh
So
wait,
whatever
I get
whatever your team is +2.
Oh, nice. Okay. I got a 21.
Right?
And I got a T. So I got
Okay,
a
so you can
success.
add. So are you doing a piercing blow?
Yes, I think I'm gonna do a piercing blow.
Okay. So then you're trying to break a. That's for me then. So
Actually, I think what I'm gonna do is I could do a heavy blow. So I'm gonna do a heavy blow instead.
Okay.
So that's going to give an additional loss of endurance equal to my strength rating, which is 6. So it's going to do 11 damage.
Okay, so as you bring down the blade onto the creature, but already taken some points, a bit of damage, you watch as this thing drops. The blade sticks into the neck. You pull it out, and the blood, and this thing collapses. All right, and then finally, Achreon.
Shooting one more time with my bow.
Just every time he shoots with the bow. It's kind of impressive.
got that element of visibility.
Wrong IP.
What are you doing in the Shire, you stupid elf?
That is a 17 to hit,
Don't be
That
mean to
hits.
Dobie.
and that is a 10 on the die, which is a piercing blow.
Okay. And then that's rolling.
Against
Trying
a
to get-
14 for injury.
Ooh, that's an ISR one. Yep, that thing's dead. So
Aha!
so describe your moment there.
So as I see the last one, I pull back the arrow, and I saw Nighbird just kind of phase off a little bit. I concentrate and focus on the front Elven script lights up, and if anyone understands Sindarin, it says, "That which I propose, I perform," and it kind of lights up on the bow, and the arrow shoots off and goes right into the forehead of the orc.
Goes right in. The orc hits the impact and then falls to the ground. And the final orc dies. About that moment, you see another group from with you also coming back. Seems they're all around. I don't know what's going on. We need to get back to Rivendell.
Nasty. Orcs
Let's make
being
haste
orcs.
now.
Great idea.
Load up the heart.
And I knew I shouldn't have tried Bilbo's old Toby before going on a hunt. Bad idea.
You tried the Hobbit's old Toby before you went out here.
For the first
Did you
time.
not hear me? Get moving.
All right.
Orangeblossom, have I ever told you about the time that I gave this weird ranger I met a bunch of Bilbo's old Toby? Everyone knows that humans can't handle old Toby.
No. It's much too strong for
He's
them.
probably dead now.
The rest of you gather and you watch that each of you, as you're pulling back, grabbing the
Firemen carry.
fireman carrying the deer.
Leave the meat behind. Come on.
Yep, I throw it off my shoulder. I start hauling
Okay.
ass.
And
I'm
we have
here.
horses.
I've got
You have horses. As you
sword.
get back, you watch as about another dozen to 24 of these things are crawling out of the woods, and you just hear arrows out from the horses as you gallop back towards Rivendell. We pick up and we go and plop ourselves right back down in the Shire as you all finish up your afternoon tea.
Oh, Orangeblossom, I can't tell you how much I prefer sitting around and drinking tea to fighting orcs.
I must say,
Did you say
that definitely
orcs?
sounds better.
Yes, orcs, yes. Right smelly
Nasty
things they are.
orcses.
Heard of the creatures, but I wouldn't say that I know exactly what they are.
Oh, yes. The biggest ones, they vary in size, you see. The largest of them somewhere between, 20 and 25 feet tall, I should say.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, it is quite something. But you would see some as small as 2 inches, you see. They fight, and then if they win, they get slightly larger.
What does a 2-inch one win against?
Oh, caterpillars. Actually, caterpillars are a very, very well-known enemy of tiny orcs.
Oh,
Oh,
Yes.
I never would have thought of it.
Well, you don't have to worry about it. We're in the Shire. No one will ever invade the Shire.
Of course. No, of course. Why
Yes.
would they come?
course not.
They don't even know we're here.
No, they don't. And if they ever were to invade, we would taunt them ruthlessly and call them, I don't know, something silly like Sharky.
But I must say, it was a wonderful conversation, and we should probably be heading back. But do do pay protected and keep your eyes out on the road. You're heading to Bree. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for tea.
Yes, much appreciated. And
Gathers
for the
up all
grain.
the food and the tea kit, kind of wraps it up real fast and ties it off and places it over his shoulders. The rest of them start walking towards the Shire. You all are
Alright.
heading off to Bree.
Yes.
Anything I need? Who's scouting, or who's the front man on this?
Oh, I suppose it would be me, but I'm not very good at scouting, you see.
Me neither.
All right, well,
I'm good at being sneaky. That's
Orangeblossom, you
Yes.
don't actually need to be good at something as long as you get very lucky.
oh,
James,
Of course. Here it comes. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I see it.
you see, Orangeblossom, you don't even need to be, you can just call it. You can just say, yes, it's fine. Don't,
I
James,
swear to God,
don't
that
you
man
dare
has
ask me
weighted
to roll a
dice.
dice again. You just,
Thing
You
is,
just
we bought
assume
these
that I've
dice,
done it.
so I don't know how he got another set of loaded dice on him. Alan sent him these dice. We made sure
Also-
that they weren't loaded.
also, I have 0 pips in that skill, so I just had my feet dice. It was impossible for me to roll well enough. Oh, I've tread these paths before, you see.
how many times have you been back and forth between Bree and the Shire?
Oh,
I think he has Kismia's favor.
yes, countless times, you see. I could do this. I could go down this road blindfolded, which I have. You see, I have not been paying attention to where we are the last several hours.
Oh, well, hopefully we didn't miss a turn or anything.
No, things just kind of work out for me. I think we'll be fine.
Okay.
You head down the road. For another few hours, the evening starts to come to, and sun goes down, stars come out, and you arrive at the gate of Bree. This heavy wooden gate that seems to reach, well, for you, past what seems to be forever. But as you walk up to it, you can see the lantern just lit very dimly, and no sight of anyone around.
Oh, goodness. Hello in there. Anyone home?
The door quickly swings open. A good day.
Good day. My niece and I are heading into town, and we were wondering if you could. Oh, there we go. He's gone.
Pops open at another door about halfway down and opens up another one. Oh,
Hello.
hello.
It's a bit rude. I was on my horse when you've done that just now.
Yes, but
I could-
it's still a pony. It's
Well,
it's
shit.
shorter.
Let me just and I'll get down from my horse and walk over.
The pony's
Hello.
kind of like this mid-range between like up and it's like just staring at the pony through the doorway.
Hello. Yes, we need to come in.
It's very late.
Yes, that's why we need to come in.
One second. He pushes the door, pushes it open.
All right, Orangeblossom, on we go. Welcome to Bree.
Please be careful. The evening is quiet, but it seems that the inns are still active. Do have a wonderful evening.
Oh, thank you. You too, sir. And hopefully the night will pass without incident for you.
I hope so. Been many years since we've seen any incidents coming this direction.
Ah,
Other gate on the other side of Bree, on the other hand. Much more activity.
the Hellgate, they call it. Yes.
Yes, the Hellgate. Only people from Bree know of Hellgate. How do you know
Yes.
of the Hellgate?
Oh, I know many things. I've ventured these parts most frequently. You see, I've traveled all over Eriador. the greater Eriador region, you see.
Kind of remind me of another hobbit that came through here a few years ago.
Yes, well, that's a bit rude. We don't all look the same.
No,
but
not saying that, but we don't get many that have been so traveled.
I see. Well, yes, that is true. That is true. We seem to stick to our own parts, but that's just so that we aren't in the way. You know, it's not exactly accessible for us to come to town where men live because there's not really arrangements for us, you see. But perhaps if you folks made a few more arrangements, you might get some more hobbit business in these parts, you see. Always looking for a good trade.
Maybe, you know what, maybe you might want to bring it up to the mayor.
Sure, yes.
Be interested.
Perhaps I'll open some sort of trade business. That won't be a problem for any game mechanics.
I do hope you
We can start some sort of
hope you have
delivery
a
service.
The
wonderful
wandering store.
a wandering store, just a little cart of.
Oh, and look,
ponies.
there's a merchant here.
Yes.
Merchants everywhere.
Well, thank you very much for your hospitality. Orangeblossom, thank the man for his hospitality.
Thank you, sir, for your hospitality.
Right.
Oh, it's no worries. Have a wonderful evening, miss.
Where are we going?
And he turns around and heads back and just kind of steps back up onto his stool and kind of sits there and relaxes.
Well, I suppose if we were going to start and give you a look at Bree as a tour, I suppose we should go to the Inn of the Prancing Pony. I'm sure that you have heard it mentioned in Bilbo's tales, and from people who have ventured to Bree itself. It's the big inn. It's the one that everyone goes to. It's very popular, you see, and I'm sure that you would enjoy it.
Yes, absolutely. Let's make our way there then.
Yes, absolutely. This way.
If you venture off down the road to Bree, you come to that very famous inn known as the Prancing Pony. And you can see that the lights in there are bright. Sound can be heard from all around as a small band is playing within. People are standing outside talking. Others seem to be moseying in and out, some more inebriated than others. But without too much of an issue, you head on it. A little bit of a calamity there between people as they're walking in and out, but you find your way in.
Be careful, Orangeblossom. They will step on you if you're not careful. Oh, dear Lord. Sorry.
I love this song.
My apologies.
Hey, ho, to the bottle I go.
Yes, well. I will leave the singing to you, Orangeblossom. I'm not much of a singer. Perhaps in my younger days. Yes, let's speak with the innkeeper. We should stay here for the night. And I'll see if there's any work for me about town as well. Perhaps we can make a spot of coin here with healing.
All right.
Excuse me, barman. Yes.
Oh, yes.
Hello. Hang on 1 second. I'll climb up on this stool. Oh, all right. Hello.
Shire folk.
Yes. Hello.
What can I help you with?
Well, my niece and I here need rooms for the evening, and I happen to be a medical professional of some repute, and I was wondering if there was any need for any healing, that sort of thing, while I'm here.
You know, we don't see much of a need for healing here at the Prancing Pony, but you could always step down at the guard shacks and make sure that none of the soldiers or the night guard are in need. And I'm sure the mayor will pay a coin for making sure that their wounds are taken care of.
Well, I'm not going to go out of my way. I might do that, but I tell you what, if there's some drunken bar fight or something like that, and someone gets injured, that's the agreement I usually have with tavern keeps, where I say if someone gets hurt or wounded or something like that, you just let me know and I'll patch them right up for a small fee.
All right. And you're looking for rooms. Do you need one room?
Well, one if there are two beds, but if not, then 2 rooms should be fine.
We have smaller rooms for dwarves, and they'd be close to your size. So
Sure. Yes.
I'm sure we could. We have a few rooms that have 2 beds in them. As you know, it seems to be nowadays that people travel in pairs or in small companies. So, other than strange folk come in ones. But
All
it's
right.
just
Well,
interesting.
I mean, I traveled by myself for some time, and I don't think that I'm strange. Perhaps I am. I mean, I am a small man wearing a shrunken wizard's hat, so perhaps I am strange. But I tell you
Well, out
what.
of sorts, I would say, but
Yes.
nothing of strangeness. I would
Sure.
give you.
All right. Well, if you'll just hand us the keys, then we will be out of your hair. Orangeblossom, do you want anything while we're here?
A drink would be nice.
Would you like some ale?
I'd love some ale. That sounds wonderful.
What size would you like?
Does it come in pints?
It does come in pints.
I'm
I'll get
getting
you a
one.
pint. He sets off, grabs a pint of ale, and slides it in.
Come on,
Up to it.
Orangeblossom, act like you've been there before.
He hands you a set of iron, or an iron key off a key ring that he had around his waist, and hands it off. He says, "If you go upstairs and down the hall, it'll be the 3rd room on your left."
All right, we appreciate it. Perhaps as part of dinner, I tell you what, Orangeblossom, if you go grab us a table, I'll grab us perhaps some sort of cheese and meat platter, sir, and a glass of red wine for myself, and I'll bring it on over, Orangeblossom, in just a moment.
All right. And she grabs her pint and holds it lovingly and escapes away to find them a table.
Saying real fast.
Oh,
What?
Isn't that fun when I do stuff like that? I'm gonna have Orangeblossom roll me a athletics as you're trying to find a table
Oh,
in between
There's going to
quite a
be
few
ale all
Breena.
over the floor.
See how well you do. Let's see if we can.
The nimbleness of hobbits.
yes.
Yeah, no.
Look at that. So almost as if she is in a dance, she holds her pint very, very close to her and moves one way and then the other as the people of Bree are dancing and talking
dancing
and
with her, eh?
not really paying attention to their feet, and she's just going through and around until she finds a table in the back where she can plop herself with her pint and enjoy it for a moment. Ferdinand, however, you are given. He asks you,
Yes.
sir, if you have I need 1, 2, 4 silver.
Oh, yeah, surely. Yes. Give me just a moment, and I'll reach into my waistcoat. Here you are.
Takes the money. Thank you very much, and we'll have a platter over to you in just a moment.
Yes. And should anyone ask, we are in town for a few days, taking care of some healing and picking up some supplies. And I'll slide another silver across the table.
He pockets it and trying to stay. Said you were looking for work, but seems you're trying not to be found.
Oh, it's not that I don't want to be found. It's just that, so that you will tell others that that I am available. To bring it to mind.
Give me persuade.
Yes. I'm also quite good at that, James.
You work with the things you got, right?
Yes. Well, that is a Gandalf rune, a 2 and a 5. So that would be 19.
19. Easy enough. Of course. We will. I'll give your name away if I hear of anything.
Thank you.
I'll have one of our maidens drop off the food at your desk or at your table.
Yes. As I'm walking through, I'm not doing what Orangeblossom was doing. Excuse me. Pardon me. I'm an older gentleman, and I don't. Excuse me. Yes.
I apologize.
Yes, I'm down here. Thank you. Be careful. Also, sir, I've noticed. It appears one of your testicles is rather swollen. You might have someone take a look at that. Just it's right here at head height. I'm a doctor. It's just consult your physician. It's probably fine. It's probably fine. Just speak with your doctor. Make sure everything's good. It's important to take care of yourself.
Give me an awe.
Well, I have no pips in that, so I'll just roll an 11. So no, I don't make it.
He doesn't get startled, but there is a bit of concern in his voice as he, right, sir. Just gonna.
All right. Well, good day. Leave.
Wanders through the randomly catching people, and as he's walking through, you don't really try to get stepped on, especially when you are very abruptly announcing yourself throughout the hall. But you get to the table, and about 10 minutes later, you arrive. The food is brought to you, and it smells amazing. The nicely sliced cheeses, 2 sets of different types of cheeses, and it looks like they either did some sort of sausage that was chopped up and some ham, and they plated it out really nicely for you to munch on during the dinner.
This is called a charcuterie board, Orangeblossom.
That's very nice.
Are you okay, Orangeblossom? Don't drink too much of that ale now. Come on.
I think theirs hits a bit harder than the ale at the Green Dragon.
It does. It's a bit stronger than you're used to. So maybe just take it easy. Everything's going to be all right.
Slow down. Maybe have a bit of that bread.
Slow down. But anyway.
Engorge on. You enjoy some meat and cheeses. Your evening starts to become quieter. The songs are starting to soften. People are starting to clear out as it's getting later and later in the night. I need both of you to roll me a scan check, please.
I just have to roll another Gandalf rune.
Same.
Nope.
One of those flew off my 7.
7 with a Gandalf rune or no?
No, just 7.
We're hobbits. We don't scan.
You don't scan.
Too short. Can't see very far.
Yeah.
When the big folk are around.
Right. Yeah, you're all paying attention. Pay attention, and don't focus on anything else around us.
We're deep in a conversation. Orangeblossom just staring because Ferdinand's like, I swear to God, it was this big, and I just hold up an enormous piece of meat. I told him he should see a doctor immediately.
and as his apprentice.
About the moment you say that, you feel a hand slap the table, and the man that you had told him his testicles were engorged comes over and he says, "Now I don't really like being told that I'm having an injury down there, but I really think you better apologize."
Apologize, sir. It was a medical diagnosis.
And how would you have seen something like that through my trousers?
Dear Lord, it's the size of a softball, sir. I mean, it's the size of an orange. Surely someone has pointed it out before. I am most sorry, though, and I hope that everything is okay. And if not, well then, thank Iluvatar that you are blessed with such endowments, I suppose, if that's natural.
Want me a courtesy check? This totally just rolled through that one.
You can't catch me, James. I'm ready for any eventuality. Well, that's a Gandalf rune. 4 and a 1. So 17.
Luck of the hobbits.
The luck of a hobbit. Oh my goodness.
Gee, I wonder who's bringing the chaos in this game.
I was very calm and good as Sigismund.
Yeah.
Also, Ferdinand Took is a real named hobbit in Tolkien lore, and his father's name is Sigismund Took.
Mhm.
Just a bit of a lore for you there if you watch Plots in Darkenhaven. I'm not making it up. It's real.
It's
Look it up.
true. It's true.
Look it up on Tolkienpedia. It exists.
I will. Right. My apologies. I really do.
Oh, it's fine.
It's quite concerning.
I'm just worried about you. And I tell you, I'll even waive my advisory fee this time, since you've been so understanding.
How much would you charge to take a look?
Oh, no. It's fine. I tell you what, I could take a look for, I tell you what, you pay for our dinner here tonight, and I'll take a look and see if everything's going okay down there. It's really something that you should, when you get to a certain age, it's something that we have to be careful of, we have to watch for.
Right. Yes, and he slaps down the 3 silver for the meal.
All right. We'll be right back. Orangeblossom, do you want to come and consult for this one, or are you okay if I take this one solo?
Well, sir, I'm his apprentice. Are you uncomfortable with a woman being present?
Oh no, I have no issues if it's going to help, and I
Absolutely, yes.
Orangeblossom pulls out like this little notebook. All right.
Yeah, here we go. Let's take a look here. And tell your friends that we're doing screenings.
Health screenings. It's very important.
Yes. We'll check any lumps, bumps, anything like that.
Myself, but yes, I do appreciate your help.
Hopefully it's just a lipoma and there's nothing to be concerned about, and we'll just move on from it.
And he can't do it here.
No, I have a room here. We will go upstairs. Okay. It's fine. Come on, Blossoms.
He follows you. He also makes sure that both of you don't get trampled.
Thank you. Most kind.
Excuse me. Watch out. Little folk here. Watch out. He pushes to the stairs, and you go upstairs, and everything's checked out.
Yeah. Do you want me to do a healing room?
Sure.
Orangeblossom tries to look as professional as possible. Just
20.
I know that is your skill of trade, so it's not like I'm expecting.
I've rolled a 4, a 5, and an 11.
Yeah, figured. And then Orangeblossom, if you want to do a either a craft or a lore, to get your studies.
Okay.
Let's go. Yeah, let's go. Probably lore. Sadly, it's the only thing.
I lose my pip then. So then it's pretty bad. So 4.
James, you're the one who brought this character back. It's your fault.
You can bring this character back. I'm not sure.
I was distracted by testicles and didn't
It's
take
the
very
size
good
of a
notes.
baseball. It's the size of an orange
blossom. Orange blossom has grown today.
There are things that you said you wanted to go on an adventure, and the first adventure Uncle Ferdinand brings you to is checking out and
Wellness check.
Well, anyway,
Is it going to be all right?
it's a bit of a cyst. Hold on there. I'm just going to lance it, and you'll be okay. Here we go. 1, 2, little poke, 3.
Ah!
Yes.
You like that?
All over now. All over now. Now you just keep that clean for the next week or so, and you should be all right as rain.
Right. And he slowly walks out with this limp as he's holding that region to.
Yes. A bit of ice wouldn't go wrong either. If you chew a little bit of birch bark, it tastes nasty, but it does help with the pain.
He just walks out and out the door completely.
Well, that was one for the records there, Orangeblossom.
I should say so. And now our dinner's free. Good job.
Yeah, absolutely. See, that's how being a doctor works in these lands. You make them feel less uncomfortable. It's a natural part of life.
I should write that down.
Yes, write it down. It's not a big deal. This what you wanted, James?
Yes, that's exactly what I wanted. You're good.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. I hope you like that, audience. This episode is called
Get
Swollen
your
Eggs.
annual checkups. It's important.
Was that better or worse than the orc fight, guys?
The
Don't
juxtaposition of these two scenes, let me just.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're bouncing from, we've got to hit all the different types, right? Because we got combat and then we got testicles,
Yeah. I was perfectly fine with just saying that to that guy and moving on. And you wanted to try to make it weird for me, and I've made it weird for you, haven't I, James?
Oh, how the turns of table.
How the turntables have.
Oh no, goodness. All right. So as you continue to chat for a moment, you hear a knock at the door.
Oh, it's that gentleman. Hopefully he's not back. Hopefully it's, oh, dear Lord. And I'll open the door. Hello.
Good day. I've come to find a doctor.
Yes, I'm a doctor.
I was told by the innkeeper that you could help me out. My mother, she's very sick.
Oh, dear Lord, I'm so sorry to hear that. What seems to be the problem? Let's Orangeblossom, grab your cloak. Let's go.
All right.
Yes, the invisibility cloak. That one. Yes, let's go.
Really, I don't know what she's had, but she's got boils all over her body, and they came out of nowhere.
Ah, how quickly did they come on, sir?
We started seeing spots. Well, she started seeing spots about a week ago.
Ah, well, all right. Let's go take a look at her. I'll know more when I see. We will take a look and see what we've got going on here. Orangeblossom, I hope this isn't the plague. It might be the plague. Put your invisibility cloak on to hide from the germs.
Okay.
We understand germ theory in Middle Earth, you see.
As you head down, this young man is probably in his late 20s, has long brown hair kind of tied up in a ponytail, a green tunic on, and he seems, I wouldn't say gaunt, but extremely skinny. As he wanders down the stairs, you can hear the clacking of his shoes as they're hitting the floorboards or the stairs, and runs out the door with you. Steps into the streets, and the only thing lit currently are just the lanterns that are lighting the streets. He says, I didn't know what else to do. I thought that maybe I could just get some help for my mother.
Yes, we will do what we can. I have a bit of elven medicine that, if all else fails, it usually gives patients a pretty decent shot.
Okay. And he takes you down the street a bit. A small home, only probably looks like it might have 2 rooms in it. Wooden outside, thatched roof, and knocks on the door. Says, "Mother, I've brought the doctor." You can see an older lady, white hair, has what looks like a cloth over the top of her forehead, wrapped in a purple blanket, laying in a bed just on the other side of the room as he opens the room. And you can see the room is very small. There's a table, two chairs, a small stove in the far end, and it seems to only be one small room. We don't have much.
Oh, that's all right. Now, ma'am, what seems to be the problem? And I'll start taking a look at her and examining to see if there's anything obviously wrong that could be causing this.
So with that, we'll start with a healing, and then a scan.
Oh God. Healing is going to be enough. It's a 15, which meets my roll.
Okay.
The scan, I'm going to have to get really lucky. Holy shit! Yay! Hang on. If the camera
It disappeared.
Oh no, the camera, it doesn't like it. Let's see.
That's fine.
It doesn't like it. I can't
I
capture it.
believe
It's a Gandalf.
it's a Gandalf rune, right? Yeah, that's what I just
Yes.
heard again. Sooner or later, I'm going to make the audience choose if they want to give you more Gandalf runes or remove them from you. So
It's a little crazy. I would say that I roll like,
It's thematic though, with the doctor part anyway.
yeah, but it just always happens. It's the thing.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
you notice that the boils have covered most of her body at this point, but the boils are they're not red. They're more of like a purplish black. And you scan the entire body until you notice her foot, her left foot, is completely turned black up to the middle of the middle of the shin.
Does this doesn't look natural to me, I'm assuming. Just wait here, dearie, and I will be right back, okay? I'm going to step outside and speak with your son and get you a prescription, get some herbs that he can give you to help with what's ailing you. Yes? Okay?
He just smiles, but you don't see it. She doesn't seem to speak.
And I'll rub some of the elven balm that I have on her wounds, but I'll take him outside and say, son, I'm sorry to tell you this, but she is beyond what any physician can do at this point. I'm afraid that what she has is not something that is natural or of this world. I'm afraid that there's something sinister going on here.
What could be going on here?
I don't know, but I intend to find out. Do you mind if I take a look at you as well and just make sure that nothing contagious is happening?
That's fine.
And can I do a medical on him as well?
Yep.
It's a Gandalf rune, a 4 and a 2. So 17.
Yep.
18.
He seems to be clean.
No evidence of any kind of...
No evidence of any kind.
All right. I'm afraid there's not much that I can do for her. Orangeblossom, this is something that you will see only once or twice in a lifetime. And I believe that we should hasten to the next stage of our journey. I'm afraid, son, that the only thing that could help her would be elven healing. But I tell you what, here, if you give her a bit of king's foil, and here, I'll draw some pictures of some other herbs. It won't cure her, but it will ease her suffering. And I'm afraid it won't be long now.
So there's nothing you can do.
No, I've applied an elven balm, which would give her her best shot. But honestly, I don't think that there's much that anyone can do, son. If there are other healers, please, by any means, get a second opinion. But it's beyond anything that I can handle. But I'm worried that she won't be the last to be stricken with this sort of disease. And I have a few friends that can deal with this. Yes, Orangeblossom.
Has she been out of town since before this happened? Has she been into the forest or into any other villages or around unusual folk?
Oh, I mean, we went out towards the north in the Chetwood for a little while to gather herbs and berries and other things like that, but we didn't see nothing seemed unnatural or strange.
You have any of those berries or herbs left around the house?
Oh, yes. And he takes you to a small cabinet near the stove.
I tell you what, here, and I'll give him the 3 silver that the guy had given me. I'm going to buy these from you, and please replace them with something from the store, the supply store. And I would gather your berries from somewhere else, and perhaps warn the others in town who gather from the same spot that there may be something contagious there. Hopefully this all comes to nothing and this is just some sort of freak incident, but I'm afraid that this may not be the last we see of these.
I should probably tell the guard or the mayor or something. I mean, are we potentially having a plague or something? Like,
well, it's a bit early to call it a plague, and hopefully this will be an isolated incident. But you should perhaps inform the powers that be that this is something to keep an eye on.
Okay.
Or if you would prefer, perhaps Orangeblossom and I could do that if you don't feel up to it.
No, I'll take it on. It's fine.
Sure. Again, son, I'm very sorry that there's not much more that I can do. But I will do my best to ensure that a cure is found for this or something. I will work on it. I'm going to see some friends who are quite a ways away, but they might be able to help. Perhaps not your mother, but if anyone else is stricken with it, her sacrifice will not be in vain. It would be something that led to cure for others, perhaps.
I mean, it's hard to help when, your family's leaving you, but if it does help others, I hope it's not something that's going to stay.
Me too. And I'm sure it isn't, but have heart, just be watchful. Be prepared for the worst and hope for the best. It's the best way to be.
Thank you.
Now, Orangeblossom, I'm afraid that we must ride through the night. Certain matters have advanced, and I think that perhaps we should get on our way this evening.
Oh, okay.
All right. Again, I'm sorry, son, but there's nothing else that we can do. And at that point, I will kind of grab Orangeblossom by the hand and start pulling her out and back to the inn.
Okay. As you see a tear kind of trickle down his face as he slowly closes the door, in leaving you all back into the streets of Bree. A moment of silence is at the moment where you're just the only two standing in the streets with the pony.
Now, Orangeblossom, I know that was sad, and it's hard to see that sort of thing, but you have to put it away. If you're going to be a healer, you have to put that away, because the next thing that we may see might be a mother giving birth to a newborn, and you can't bring that sadness with you. You have to let go of the darkness and put it away.
Okay, all right.
Right. Very good thoughts, by the way. I wouldn't have thought to ask where they had been gathering their food. That was a very good call. Your instincts are very strong, Orangeblossom. Well done.
Thank you, Uncle.
But I'm afraid that this disease may be something unnatural, and we need to get to Rivendell. The elves will be able to tell us more.
Right.
And with that, we'll head upstairs.
Okay.
Or head back to the inn.
Head back
to grab
the
her
inn.
stuff. Yeah.
To grab her things. Right. While they're gathering their things, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back in just a couple minutes, and we'll see what the rest of them are doing in Rivendell. So until then, we'll see you guys very soon. Welcome back. Before we start, just a reminder, if you want to be a part of the giveaway, you need to type in secrets in the chat. No, and it's case sensitive, so it's all lowercase. But
and Whitney, you're not allowed to win it.
Yes. Cast members and cast member family. No. But let's get back to our story, shall we?
She gets a better prize. She gets a free medical exam from Uncle Ferdinand.
Off screen, you can do whatever the heck you want to do.
Whitney, run away further.
Run away from the. He brings out he lances it off immediately. Run away. All right. So heading back after a bit of a change of expectations in Vietnamore, you arrive at the stairway to the city of Rivendell, back to home. Immediately greeted by a dozen or so of of the other houses of Elrond that are sitting there, that are standing there, and almost as if a celebration has started upon your arrival.
So
Somehow,
our arrival or their arrival?
your arrival, Nighbird, Elondir, and Achreon, along with the other elves that came back from the hunt. And you bring about half a dozen or so different animals back to be prepared. But on top of that, 2 people come back wounded. 2 spikes have been jammed into one of them. It seems like it had gotten into their leg, another one in the shoulder. They're rushed off to the rooms of healing, the elves, and the rest of you are taken to the Great Halls.
I'm going to go clean up first.
The rest of you to do before you enter the Great Halls.
We've been out hunting and battling orcs. It's messy.
I'm going to find one of the elves that I know and go.
I'm heading off for Nighbird.
I must speak with Lord Elrond immediately.
Elrond, is it part of the ceremony? What urgent business would you have to speak with the Lord?
Orcs have returned to the Etten Moors. I've seen it with my own eyes. At least I think I've seen it with my own eyes. I was smoking a little bit of Old Toby, but I'm pretty sure that I saw them. There's a couple of elves over there with a few spikes in their legs that can attest to what I think I've seen.
I learned this might have been the issue, but is it enough to really alert Lord Elrond before the ceremony? The celebration?
Well, I think orcs in the Etten Moors is pretty darn urgent.
See what I can
say. Hordes of orcs.
Hordes of orcs and trolls and dragons.
Okay, now you're getting a little too embellishing.
I was like, you can give me a riddle or you can give me a persuade, depending on which one you're really trying to push.
I don't actually say that. I just say a pack of orcs.
Pack of orcs.
And as he's off trying to get to Elrond.
If he has any opposition of speaking with you, then I would be shocked. But you'll find him in the main halls.
I'll head that direction.
You walk into the main hall, and the main hall is decorated to the max. You've got banners strung across the ceiling and the walls. You have a giant 2 large grand tables set up with plates and silverware and everything prepared, and then a line of food that's set up.
I quickly scan around to see if I can spot Elrond.
You are immediately able to spot Lord Elrond. Give me we need to go to break just 1 second. I apologize. Are we on break?
Yeah, Eric, if you want to send us the break, or if you
I apologize for that. I had an emergency that had to be taken care of real fast. But we can return to our story. So, for anybody that's tuning in at the moment, we were in Rivendell at the Great Hall. Elondir has approached Lord Elrond, and Nighbird and Achreon have went off to clean up before heading to the Great Halls themselves.
I'm not there. Phil, you're muted.
Phil, you're muted.
Okay, yeah, that would help.
There we go.
I immediately walk up to Lord Elrond after I spot him.
Lord Elrond, a word, if you might have a moment.
Yes.
Orcs have returned to the Etten Moors.
Are you positive?
I pull out my sword, which I haven't cleaned off. It's got all the orc blood still on it. I'm like, yes, I'm pretty positive.
Dripping blood all through the festive hall.
You know what today is. This must be urgent.
I do know what today is. I thought this was pretty darn urgent. It's my job as a ranger to
We haven't
guard
seen
the Etten Moors.
We haven't seen the Etten Moors being active for years. Why now?
Well, there are whispers that the shadow is returning in the east at Dol Guldur. Maybe this is a sign.
As we must investigate. I will send our scouts out to see what they can find. In the meantime, would you like to? What do you believe we should do about this? Your expertise in tracking in the specifics of orcs seems to be quite admirable.
I think we should double our scouts. And where there are orcs, trolls might follow.
Anything coming this close to Rivendell would be a danger to all that live here.
Yes. Indeed, there would be.
I will reach out to some of the other houses and see what we can gather, see if it's happening in other places around the world, and plan for an attack. Plan to find out where these are coming from. Have you seen anything else besides orcs?
So far, just the orcs. But I don't know what else might be existing out there. I'm afraid that maybe the Nazgul might return.
His face gets much more serious. Those are strange and very dangerous words you're speaking, Elondir.
Indeed. I hate to say it.
About the time while you are both speaking, you hear a shriek come from a room just down the hall from the Great Hall where the kitchen would be. And immediately you and Elrond run along with about a dozen other people towards the kitchen. As you do, you watch as a blade is cut into the deer, and as it opened up, this poof of black smoke has kind of billowed out, and opening now the carcass, you can see the entirety of the insides has rotted.
A sign, the shadow.
Let's consult with the other houses and find out what we should do about this. Let's call off the celebration and prepare for what's coming.
I'll let the other rangers know.
Dear, you're a good man. Thank you for all that you do here.
And
he heads off in I wouldn't say a sprint, but a very fast walk out of the Great Hall.
I head
Runs
back.
right past you two as you guys are heading to the Great Hall. The three of you are then
Nighbird,
met.
what do you think?
Elondir, what was going on?
I'm sorry to say the party has been canceled. The meat has gone a little bad.
I'll point to the deer.
Yes.
Shadow
All
this
right.
fall.
You saw the shadow too.
I
Shadow.
did see the shadow, and my eyes never miss anything. I faltered in battlefield for once, and I don't like it.
And we weren't fighting the orcs. A shadow crossed over my eyes. This is not good. At home near the Mirkwood, it would be common, unfortunately.
That is ill news indeed.
Have you seen orcs this far before, outside of the Mirkwood?
No, never. It's been a long time since orcs have wandered this area of Middle-earth. We've been at relative peace since the war against the Witch King.
But then, my friend, this bears a very dark omen indeed, and I can say that nothing good is coming of this at all.
Yes.
Did you speak to Lord Elrond? Is that why he ran off?
I did. We are going to send more scouts out to see what is happening, both in the east toward Dol Guldur, as well as west toward the Moors.
And do you trust their eyes? Should we not go out there with them?
We
I think
should.
that would be best.
Then
And
I believe we should speak to Lord Elrond again.
Yes.
Nighbird, when you faltered and you saw the shadow, did you feel any coldness?
no, it was just as if darkness had covered the land.
Maybe
I felt
you guys
something in my
both-
soul.
Maybe you
Deep
both should have
impression.
taken some of the old Toby before, because I didn't see a thing.
And you did not share. Neither did you mention this beforehand.
I pull some of the old whatever left over.
It is
Stuff
too
you
late.
Orangeblossom, have I told you about the time that I told that ranger that was old Toby and it was really just magic mushrooms? Have I told you about it?
Just grounded up mushrooms and gave it to him.
He's in for an interesting trip.
As all continue to converse about what to do next, you hear the rings of bells throughout Rivendell. You watch as soldiers are being armed, as scouts are being gathered, as horses are being picked for this journey. Elrond and a few of the other high elves that are heading towards the council hall started discussions on what to do next, what the next plan of action will be that not only will protect Rivendell, but its borders and the other things outside. Each of you, this sense of, I wouldn't say fear, but concern kind of connects.
Foreboding?
Foreboding, great word. Foreboding fear of what is happening. Over the next few days, you start to prepare yourselves. Towards the end of the time where you're planning to head out, you hear of visitors from the west. Ferdinand and Orangeblossom. Heading down the road, you finally meet yourselves at the hidden and secure location of Rivendell.
All right now, Orangeblossom, we're here, but just like hold it together, you know. It's gonna be okay. Don't lose your shit. No, please no. Please, you are my niece, and you need to act like you've seen this shit before. All right?
Okay.
It's okay. Remember, honorable, fastidious.
Yes. Okay.
We've got it. Yes.
All right.
As you
Okay.
approach, the large silver gates start to open and slowly move out of the way for you to head inward.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Two elven guards are
Extremely.
standing there in very ornately designed elven armor, a bow on their back and a blade on both sides of their hips. Welcome to Rivendell.
Jushul, we need to speak with Lord Elrond, if possible, or perhaps one of the healers.
Lord Elrond is currently in council with some of the others but I will make sure that we alert one of our healers to reach out to you. If you'd like, you could go speak with Zinnadir.
Sure. Yes, I remember him. He was a good sort. Orangeblossom, follow me. We'll go and check on him. It does concern a sort of maybe shadow plague or something odd. So
Something quite amiss.
Yes, you might. And also, we have other business with Elrond. So we really do need to speak with him, but I understand he's a busy man. I tell you, we will go and speak with the healer, and when Elrond has time, we will treat with him if he would.
Zinnadir will definitely give you some information on what has been we found here at Rivendell over the last week or so.
I would appreciate
In
it.
interim, we will reach the Lord Elrond and see if he can take an audience with you.
All right.
Ferdinand, it is good to see you have returned.
Well, it is wonderful to be back. I brought my niece. I felt that every hobbit, in order to appreciate the home that we have, should see the world around and understand its beauties as well.
As you head off down towards the House of Healing, where you had gotten most of your studies done at, you see about a half a dozen well-dressed, robed elves leaving the council hall.
I would like to try and eavesdrop on them.
Okay. That's going to be. Let's do a
Stealth or something?
Yeah.
Are they always this fancy? They're very well dressed.
It's 15, which is my target number, so I don't know if meets his beats or not.
In this case, I will sadly say no.
Okay.
So as they walk past, you can hear they're all speaking in Elvish as they're moving by, and you don't seem to catch.
I don't speak Elvish very well. I know a few things, but not
You know a
much.
few things, but for people outside of elves, the words almost sound like a song. It's very pleasant to the ears, but you aren't able to catch any words that make sense to you.
Well, something is going on, I suppose. It seems as if some lordlings, or rather, are in council with Lord Elrond. That is either very good or very troubling. They may just
you
be
have an
doing...
option here. You could either continue your journey to Zendir, or you could sneak off and try to get audience.
I don't think that I would sneak off.
Okay.
I think that I would continue on to Zendir.
Okay.
Because Elrond's not a healer anyway, so I'm going to have better luck with Zendir. Orangeblossom, you're free to come with me or look around. Just ask the elves. If you wish to explore on your own, just ask them about what interests you most. But I'm heading to speak to Zendir. You're welcome to join, but...
Well, as your apprentice, I think I should come and write down whatever he says.
Okay. All right. Very well, Orangeblossom.
So as you head off into the Hall of Healing, you are met by one of Zendir's helpers. And everyone here is dressed in ornately white robes, almost like filigreed with silver vines that kind of just decorate the entirety of the robe. Lord Zendir has been expecting guests for quite some time. I'm sure you're probably who he's looking for.
Yes, please let him know that one of his former apprentices, Ferdinand, is here, and that I am concerned that I have seen an illness that is unknown to us, and that it might be something.
Let him know immediately. And he darts off down the hall, just a little bit, into a small room. And a few minutes later, he watches I would say older elven man, but none of them really look old at all. But long blonde hair, has this very, very pointed chin, elongated face, the ears kind of pushed back a little bit farther than normal. Says, Master Ferdinand, it's wonderful to see you.
Yes, let's solely on. Listen, I brought my niece here with me, and we were on another mission. Yes, this is Orangeblossom.
It's nice to meet you, miss.
Well, we were heading to Rivendell anyway. Master Baggins has sent us, but and on our journey here, we stopped in Bree, and I saw a disease that was most troubling, and I'm not sure what I've seen, but I knew that someone who knew so much more than I did might understand it, especially because it did not seem natural. I'm worried. The woman was covered in purplish black boils that had come up within a week. Her knee up, her leg up almost up to the shin, had started to turn black. I would say it was some sort of necrosis, but in such strange locations and so isolated, I didn't know what to do.
That is troubling, and sadly not as unexpected as you expect. Lord Elrond is currently investigating a situation of similar disheartenment.
As a matter of fact, give me just a moment, and I will let me jot down. Actually, Orangeblossom, I believe that you were taking notes and sketches of what we've seen. Did you happen to take any kind of drawings or anything of what we've seen? Perhaps it would help. And speaking of drawings,
very good.
Speaking of drawings, let's find out who wins for the evening. Make sure if you have not drawn yet, before the drawing ends, make sure if you haven't entered yet. Oh, look at that. Sixty has won the giveaway. So in order for us to get that to you, I need you to message, or one of our admins will message you. We need your address so that we can get that off to Free Gaming and they can get that core set sent over.
But Yes, so you said Lord Elrond had seen something similar or seen something...
Yes, as you know, we are in the middle of the early celebration of spring, and yet we went out and did a hunt just a few days ago. And now we've discovered that the creatures around here are sick and sightings of orcs. So Lord Elrond's been speaking with others. Yes, sadly. Not the 2-inch ones that you tell all your friends.
Yes, no. Oh, yes, that was also bullshit, by the way. Yes, orcs are all approximately like 5'11" to like 6'5", like normal, like large man size, I would say.
Orcs can step between 5 and 7, but smaller creatures such as goblins, that type, will be closer to, well, your height.
It is true, though, that they have a bitter rivalry with caterpillars. That part was true, and you can't convince me otherwise. I don't care how often you say it. But perhaps it is more urgent. I hate to impose on someone as busy as Lord Elrond, but I know that Orangeblossom would very much be interested in seeing him, and also we have important tidings then that are relevant to...
Oh, of course. I understand that this news needs to be brought to Lord Elrond completely. Let me take you directly to him.
Absolutely. Also, it's wonderful to see you, old friend. I was worried I might not make the trip back.
He shakes your hand. It's good to see you as well. Not so much on these conditions, though.
Well, I'm grateful that I had needs to come back, despite whatever the circumstances.
He quickly moves you two off to the Hall of Counseling. In the meantime, Elondir, you, Nighbird, and Achreon have gotten together, have decided your next steps, and are also journeying off to the House of Counseling, where you're going to propose your expectations and what your plan is with the orcs. The 5 of you kind of clam together as well as Zennadir, walk into the room. Lord Elrond gives a bit of a concern and sees Ferdinand, other hobbit, some others from the area. The deep breath, and begins to speak. And that's where we'll pick up next week.
Hooray!
By the way, Ferdinand, when I first see you, Elondir is going to go, Michael Biden, Melanin. It's fortuitous that I see you here. I actually just managed to catch a batch of caterpillars. I know that you feel a lot more comfortable when you are traveling with caterpillars.
Absolutely.
When orcs are by. So
it would, if the caterpillar starts running away, orcs are here to play. That whole saying.
And soon as Archon sees both Orangeblossom and Ferdinand, he goes, "My Tolan, welcome." And then he turns kind of to Nighbird and like kind of grips her side, like, "Nighbird, are those hobbits out here?"
I've never seen one before. How would I know?
Well, I haven't either. Welcome here.
We can hear you, right?
We're
You're like 3 foot away from us.
No.
We're small, but we have good ears.
We're very clever with our ears, yes.
Well then, are you hobbits? Because I've never met any hobbits before.
Of course, yes.
Well met.
It's
As
nice to meet you.
our party has finally united, and we continue our journey to find out what this horrible plague or disease is starting to affect the areas of Eriador, and we will find all this out more next week as we continue our story. So until then, have a very, very wonderful, wonderful night.
Bye.
Good night.
Crushed